Number 10? Number 10?
That's number 10. Holy cow.
It's got to be higher than that.
As good as people think he was, I think if you go back and you look at his career, I think you're going to realize he's even better than that.
You know, that's the thing about Dorsett that he never got the credit he deserved. He had great speed. You know, everybody talks about Emmitt Smith. Was Emmitt Smith better than Tony Dorsett? In my mind, he wasn't.
To the 40, cuts right, watch out! To the 50, the 40, he's to the 30, the 20, the 10, the 5, Tony Dorsett, touchdown!
Much like his place in history, some think Tony Dorsett's most amazing run never got the spotlight it deserved.
It's at like the 1 foot line. It's not even at the 1.
The ball just over the goal line of the Cowboys. Dorsett, single setback. Big opening for Tony Dorsett. Look out, he's got great speed. 99 yards and a half. Dorsett down the sideline. Stays in bounds. Can you believe that? And Csonka, 99 yards.
For 99 yards, I think you got to be a little higher than 10.
Lost in all of it, he did it with 9 teammates.
Ron Springs runs into the huddle and then runs out of the huddle. So the Cowboys did it with 10 guys on the field.
What made the play is when you thought he was going to get tackled and he stiff arms the guy and just goes right into the end zone.
It was like he had butter.
Here you go.
It's like butter. You can't hold it.
He did it with 10 guys on the field. He had 9 teammates. You can make a great argument that because it's an unbreakable record, and to have only 10 guys on the field for the offense when it happens, that it should be higher.
That's a fair ranking. Because of its length, it gets a little more credit than it probably deserves.
Tony Dorsett, 99-yard touchdown is too low. I mean, it's a 99-yard touchdown. There can't be a longer run. It is literally the longest run that will ever exist in NFL history.
You can make the argument that's the greatest run in NFL history. You can make the argument that that's the greatest play in NFL history. I don't think it is, but you could at least make it arguable. But 10?
Longest run in NFL history.
99 yards, but that's
You can't get longer than 99. Yeah, you can't do that.
It's not possible.
It's not possible. You can't get it longer than 99.
The record will never be broken.
Number 9, all-time amazing run. Barry Sanders, dumbfounded out.
One in the playoffs against the Cowboys was probably the most important run, but Barry Sanders could fill every spot on this list.
The play where he spun Harlan Barnett into the ground for the Patriots is still the single greatest play I've ever seen. He didn't know which way he was going, and I'm not even sure Barry knew which way he was going.
Barry Sanders could fill every spot on this list because he probably had more amazing runs than any running back in NFL history.
I've never seen a player who was more entertaining to watch.
Sometimes you just gotta look to the heavens and say, wow.
He's the human highlight machine.
Touchdown, Barry Sanders.
A lot of people don't know this. Barry Sanders gets a lot of credit for just handing the referee the ball all the time. When he was a kid, they told him the biggest way to insult the other team and show them up is to hand the ball to the referee. So we think he's being very modest. That's the most insulting Barry Sanders has ever been in his life.
This is arguably Barry's best run because it also happens in the playoffs against a future dynasty in the Cowboys.
What a moment in the Pontiac Silverdome as the Detroit Lions are about to play their first home playoff game since 1957.
For 3 quarters, Dallas's defense held Sanders to just 22 yards before he turned in one of the most electrifying runs of all time.
At the time, the Dallas Cowboys had a sick defense, like one of the best, and he said, nah, I got this.
Away to Barry off the right. Barry to the 45 and bumps to the 40. Breaks it 35-30. He's gone. Unbelievable. Touchdown. Lions. Barry Sanders. Oh my gosh, what a run.
Barry didn't have many playoff moments because his team just didn't make it there very often, and that was certainly a big one for him.
Got to be higher. You got to put that higher. Come on. In a playoff game, he does that? Higher.
Failures are what make these runs so good. Jack Del Rio, he almost says, what if I just tackled Barry Sanders with this part of my neck? He fails miserably.
And then Tony Casillas looks around and is like, the play's still going on?
Which way did he go? Which way did he go? He's behind you, Tony.
And then Ken Norton Jr. realized the play's going on and trips over air, backpedaling, going, oh crap, Barry Sanders is still running.
You think you got him tackled? Oh.
He made them like straight up fools.
I mean, he just runs right through guys. Nobody can get him down. And then when he sort of stops, it's almost like time stops.
It's like the Matrix or something. Everything freezes around and he just assesses the situation and he's like, that way. The way he was able to move was just superhuman.
I'll tell you what, every time when we talk about Barry, we say that's the greatest run, that's the greatest run. That might have been the greatest run. That was unbelievable.
If you're on defense, you get paid a large amount of money to play defense. Someone makes you look like that, I think you should get paid regular pay. No, really, like minimum wage that day. And they should show you a play like, here's your check and here's why.
Number 8 all-time amazing run, Larry Csonka in Super Bowl 7.
Our number 8 amazing run was the biggest play and the biggest game that led to the Dolphins' undefeated season.
I get why this play is where it is.
First down. Miami under 34. Another big hole open. Going through is Csonka. The 40, 30. Just melted one man out of the way. And this is one of the longest runs Larry Csonka I've ever seen him make.
At the time, it's the second longest run in Super Bowl history.
But if you ask anybody, okay, give me Larry Csonka's most famous run. Are they giving you the run in Super Bowl 7?
I don't even think it belongs on the list, man. I'm a big Larry Csonka fan, but...
Oh, it definitely belongs on the list.
Larry Csonka was one of those great 70s NFL players whose mustache was tougher than you are.
Can we discuss the face mask? What's with the loop right here?
I love Larry Csonka because Csonka typifies the hard-nosed, physical, barbaric nature of running the football with anger. This is a guy that basically ice fishes in Alaska for a hobby. So playing football must have felt like child's play to him, and he ran with such fury that it was beautiful to watch.
Larry Csonka, you cannot touch how good this guy was.
The best part of this run, what he does to Pat Fisher is just mean.
Here comes Pat Fisher. His size was against him there.
Larry Csonka is not going to try and put a move on him.
This is a brilliant one-man effort. Now watch this violent attack right there.
I mean, he saw him coming, and he loaded up, and he was ready to get Pat Fisher.
Csonka's run helped Miami finish the only perfect season in NFL history.
Larry Csonka is going to do what Larry Csonka does, which is he's just going to put his forearm there, and he's just going to drive.
He was a nasty, violent runner.
A lot of people remember that as kind of the play of that game. It was just that kind of raw power and just smash mouth kind of football.
The number 7 all-time amazing run, Steve Young's game-winning scramble.
Can I tell you the number one run I saw, but was from a quarterback? Do you remember that Steve Young run?
So the 49ers with 3:14 remaining, trailing 21-17. They have to get to the end zone. Young, back to throw. In trouble, he's going to be sacked. No, gets away. He runs, gets away again, goes to the 40, gets away again. To the 35, cuts back at the 30, to the 20, the 50, the 10. He dies. Touchdown, 49ers.
It was the classic rumbling, bumbling, stumbling, and staggered into the end zone. Thought that was a pretty great run.
We agree, Rob, and that's why Steve Young's game-winning scramble against the Vikings is the only quarterback run to make our list.
Right there, with him being the only quarterback on there, come on now. Best run-pass quarterback ever, in my opinion. You can have your Cam Newtons, you can have your Russell Wilsons. I remember there was one play where his helmet came off, and he's still running with his helmet off. Most guys, most quarterbacks, they're just gonna go ahead and just slide, take a knee, dive down, but that right there, to me, always showed his grit, his toughness.
Touchdown, Steve Young with a great effort. You know, that's not courage, that's guts.
That run was incredibly important in Steve Young's career because this is 88, Montana's hurt. People didn't really know what they had in him yet.
This is Joe Montana's San Francisco 49ers.
This is number 16, runs the show, and to see Steve Young back up, and he's done this so many times in his career, almost fall, save himself. He looked like a young man running around a bunch of old men.
What you saw in that run was unbelievable athletic determination of the guy saying, I'm going to show you people, everybody, this is who I am, this is what I do.
You won't see many better runs in your life than that.
And he gets into the end zone, you're like, who is this guy? That's where the quarterback controversy started. That's where all the thoughts of like, well, what are we can't let Steve Young go.
Do you think Steve Young is a quarterback of the future?
Yes, he is. He's great. Oh, man, he's something else.
The best part of this Steve Young run, there is so little poetry in this. It's like you took everything out of your closet and just threw it down the stairs.
He's constantly just bouncing around, trying to survive.
He's gasping for air on that one. He was not probably prepared to do all of that running.
He has no energy, no balance, no ability to finish this run. He's like,
Young is exhausted.
He barely made it. I think he had like a minor cardiac kid moment where he just got sort of like left ventricle snapped or something.
Has to be on the list. It's one of the great runs of all time.
A brilliant 49-yard run by Steve Young.
Stakes couldn't have been higher. Totally unexpected from a quarterback. So yeah, I think that was one of the great runs of all time.
The number 6 all-time amazing run. Earl Campbell delivers a blow.
That's the best run of all time, and it didn't even go for a touchdown.
That should be number 1.
You're talking about where he hits Isaiah Robertson.
10-3 Los Angeles, and here goes Earl Campbell. He knocks Robertson on his back. Beautiful.
He had so many runs that were technically better, but God, that one looked so cool.
Earl Campbell may have had better runs in bigger games, but none had more impact than a 16-yard gain in Week 4, 1978.
You saw a man amongst boys. That's what you just saw.
Earl Campbell losing his jersey, and I use that term loosely because it almost disintegrates.
The iconic imagery of his jersey getting ripped completely off is insane.
Whenever you have a guy lose his shirt, that's worthy of being in the top 10 of anything, any highlight of all time.
That one should be a little higher.
But that moment, you're running so sexy, you just become a stripper. Just out of it. You know what I'm saying? Just down to the pads.
That run actually was the inspiration for the Lingerie Football League. A lot of people don't know that.
His jersey explodes off of him. It's like at the end of the play, he's the Incredible Hulk with delayed reaction.
They're going wild in Houston. Everybody's happy. I'm going wild up here.
Beautiful running.
That's like Incredible Hulk material, number 1, immediately.
See, I think the jersey part isn't the interesting part of the run. I think when he ran over Isaiah Robertson, that was it was like, big guy on big guy, and he ran him right. You never get to the jersey part if he doesn't run over Isaiah Robertson.
How else do I know this is a great run? Because it made Isaiah Robertson famous.
Number 5 all-time amazing run. Bo Jackson, twice.
I think that this run is too high. If it wasn't Bo Jackson, it was just another guy named, Joe Jackson, would it be as high?
And Bo Jackson to the 20 and out in front, and only one man to beat, and Beasley can't run him down. He had the angle, but there goes Bo, and nobody catches Bo. Touchdown.
Not only does nobody catch Bo, but nobody else is even in sight.
That was ridiculous. Kenny Easley didn't have a chance. Bless his heart, Hall of Famer, but he wasn't catching Bo.
It's a great run. It's a memorable run, and it was done on Monday night, and it was a big deal, and it's Bo. I put it up there probably at 10.
Sometimes we take things and because it's on TV and it's in prime time and we blow them up a little more than they should be.
That 91-yard run on Monday Night Football when he runs through the end zone and then into the tunnel,
I feel like if he would have just kept running out of the stadium and then around the planet and come back around the other side and just scored again in the next half.
He may not stop till Tacoma. He's gone. Portland. He just went by Spokane.
And there go the Raiders into final. What a scene.
There's a snow cone machine in the tunnel. People don't know that. There was a huge snow cone. You could get like red and blueberry, and he would mix it. It was called a suicide. You get all the flavors at once.
Come on back, guys. Oh, he was flying.
They do like a nice hot towel thing back there with eucalyptus.
And it was such an incredible run that while he was in the tunnel, he signed a new contract.
And then that game also, he has that run just when he runs through Bosworth.
The goal line meet. You can't write a better story than that. He was the first, larger than anyone. He was a superhero.
You're just looking at a superhero, like Flash Gordon.
Pitch goes to Bo, trying to get around the left side. There's too much humanity there. He reverses, coming back to the right, gets a great comeback block. Starts up the field at the 15 to the 20, 25. He's at the 30. He's at the 40. It's a foot race.
One thing we can all agree on, Bo Jackson was superhuman, and his second amazing run that night helped cement his legacy.
It was good against evil. It was bad against good.
3rd and 1 from the 2. Here's Bo. And here goes Bo for the touchdown. He and Bosworth one-on-one, and Jackson just jumps him into the end zone.
That's the matchup you like to see.
Running over Brian Bosworth, he didn't really run him over.
And he just... Bosworth, he got posterized. It was fantastic.
Bo versus the Boz, it just feels like that play is genuine athletic prowess against a Hollywood character.
That's a superhero moment if I've ever seen one. For Bo, not for Boz.
The number 4 all-time game run. Walter Payton runs through the Chiefs defense.
Oh, did you want me to talk about Walter Payton? I don't know how much of a Bears fan I am, but I suppose that I can talk about the ballet and athleticism of the greatest running back of all time.
He would run guys over and flatten them. And you're gonna go boom. It's not like it's a boom on your back. He does the leg turn thing and he goes again and runs the next guy over. So he could run the whole team over right back to back, boom, 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 boom. The power was always there.
The determination, you can just see it in this man.
I used to sit and watch Bears games with my entire family. My Uncle Ken would always say, all right, now what you want to do here is look at how his legs don't stop moving right there. They just keep churning away.
To the 10, to the 5, to the end zone. Touchdown!
The first time I saw him on television, and I saw him make this one run.
They give to Payton on a sweep to the right side to get the block from Reeve. Sorry.
He must have twisted and knocked 3 or 4 guys over, spun around, accelerated. He fought for every inch.
Sensational run by Walter Payton.
And I said, oh my goodness. What kind of animal is this? All those moves and the strength and the tenacity. That was it. I didn't have to see any more. I knew this was a great run.
Walter Payton's amazing run gained the admiration of Jim Brown and left our experts scratching their heads.
How? That run doesn't even look like it's real. That looks like a video game.
Looks like at one point in this run, he's decided, I'm going to touch every player on the defense. Even the ones that aren't coming towards me, I'll run over by them for a while.
What, 15 Chiefs hit him that day?
I'm almost sure it was 9 of the 11 Chiefs got their hands on him before they finally brought him down. It was probably the best of those type of runs, but he did that all the time.
I told him back in the day that I thought that he should have scored on that play, he should have picked his feet up, but basically it sums up his whole entire career. People said you're too small, you're not going to make it. He goes on to ending his career as the all-time leading rusher.
Kick ass, let everything hang out.
Sweet Greatness may have been the king of epic runs, but is this amazing run worthy of the number 4 spot on our list?
Was it that Walter didn't have like that signature play, or was it that he had so many of them that you don't look and go, all right, that was the one play?
There's so many greats, but I think it should be 1 or 2 for sure. Not the top 4. It should be the top 2.
Had he gotten a few more yards, I think we could have notched that one up. Part of what makes him so good was that he wasn't going to go for like 70 yards, but he got those like really, really important ones.
Number 3 all-time amazing run. John Riggins runs to glory in Super Bowl 17.
To me, there's no overrating that one because it's game situation.
4th down and inches. Let's see who'll win this battle of strategy.
He knew he was getting the ball. He knew it. The offense knew it. The defense knew it. All the fans knew it. And it didn't matter.
Here comes the diesel. Here comes the diesel. A lot of this in your boy. Here comes the diesel.
Everyone knows what's coming, and they can't stop it.
There's the snap and the Riggins. Good hole. He's got the first down before he's down. The 35, the 30, the 20. He's gone. He's gone. Touchdown, Washington Redskins.
I mean, that's the game right there.
John Riggins has given the Redskins the lead in Super Bowl 17.
Given that they won the Super Bowl and that run was the ultimate play, I think it deserves to be high on the list.
John Riggins, he doesn't even really pass the eyeball test for NFL running back, but he had that it thing.
He was such a huge personality, crazy, off-the-wall type guy.
I do have a drinking problem, but that's only when I'm hanging from the rafters by my knees.
But then his game matched it.
Once he gets rolling, brother, you better jump on him and wait for some help, or you're going to go for a little ride.
The Diesel was still firing on all cylinders into the twilight of his career. And his amazing run in Super Bowl 17 came at the ripe old age of 33.
He looks old.
He already looks like a mid-40s dad in jeans running.
You look at his face, he's grimacing. His face is twice as wide as everyone else's faces. It's just like it's smushed into that helmet. He's just like a big, overgrown, older guy. And he's faster than everyone.
Look out, Joe, here comes the diesel.
As soon as he runs over McNeil, he takes off. Riggins was a lot faster than people think that he was.
How in the world is this guy outrunning the entire team to the end zone? He was such a legend to me because of that. Like, I'd never seen anything like it. It defies physics.
As memorable as Riggo's run may be, there is one person who probably doesn't think that this is such an amazing run.
Don McNeil. I always remember guys that get run over.
It's just a force. It's like trying to hold onto a truck as it drives away.
Yes, sir. Here it comes, those 395.
If you told me that John Riggins didn't work out, but he just moves hay all day, I would have believed that. And that's like the strength of that. Ripped.
It sounds like he could have been a professional wrestler. Instead, no. He's just tearing up the football field and having people get out of his way.
Games, even big ones, come and go. John Riggins will be remembered in Super Bowl history for his remarkable performance today.
Riggins' touchdown run cemented his place as Super Bowl 17's MVP. In the last 34 years, only 4 running backs have done the same.
That's why we love these guys. They do the impossible. John Riggins made that routine.
Look, it's not a great run. He popped through the hole, ran over Don McNeil, and there was nobody else there. So it wasn't that great a run, but it was an important run, and I think that puts it where it is.
The number 2 all-time amazing run. Marshawn Lynch goes Quake mode.
Marshawn Lynch is a bad, bad man.
Beast mode. This is the run.
Beastquake 1, for my money, is the greatest run in the history of the NFL.
When the 7-9 Seahawks knocked the defending Super Bowl champs out of the 2010 postseason, that literally qualified as a hair-raising moment.
So we get into the huddle, and they call 17 power. I was like, oh my God, I've been trying to get a power for so long.
Hey, don't roll this. Hit it downhill.
With power, you running straight downhill. You know where we coming, and we know where y'all gonna be lined up at. Now you just gotta stop it.
to left side. Finds a little bit of a hole. Keeps his legs moving. He's across the 40. Midfield. 45. He's on the run. Lynch. 40. Pushes the man. 35. Look at him go. He's down to 20. 15. He could go. He is going to go. Touchdown Seahawks.
That's the greatest run I ever seen. And that's a bold statement.
Right, that's the one where then the stadium went so crazy that it hit the Richter scale or something like that.
Marshawn Lynch, unbelievable!
It was such a moment for that city. I mean, it literally was a moment. They felt it.
It caused a natural disaster with the fans, and it's not number one.
I'm no expert on seismic activity, but anytime a football play generates a reaction from the scientific community, you know it's special, and it's got to be on the list of top 10.
When this run starts, he comes in contact with over half of the defense before he gets to the line of scrimmage.
More so than like a good cut or like a clean break out of the line, you love to see like a guy just put 5 tacklers on their ass.
I covered ball with 2 hands. One of my old teammates, Jabbar Greer, came over the top. He slid off.
Those people slip off him like he's oiled. Just 2 guys go like this and fall all the way down his body.
Like he breaks a tackle at the line of scrimmage, 5 yards after that, 5 yards after that, 5 yards after that. He earns that touchdown.
I think my favorite part was throwing, I can't remember which DB he threw.
Tracy Porter came up. I gave him a little stiff arm. I stayed on my feet.
Get off me, he says to Tracy Porter. Are you kidding me?
We almost was running at top speed. So, I mean, any kind of shove right there would have, threw a man off course. It's just a little baby stiff arm.
He must have been just revved up on Skittles to do that.
I think Marshawn tasted the rainbow shortly after that.
He loves to taste the rainbow? Well, yeah, so do I. I also march in it.
4 years later, Lynch authored Beastquake 2, but as is often the case, the sequel wasn't as good as the original.
Breaks through the line, makes a man miss. Cuts back outside right 30. Down the far sideline. Pushes the defender. Keeps fighting. He's still moving. He's going to go. He dives in. Touchdown! Seahawks! Are you kidding me?
This is the number 1 play.
I can't think of a better run.
The only one with the nickname is Beastquake. Therefore, it is the greatest of all time.
It is the greatest punch-in-the-mouth run, and I love that about it.
Come on, give my man Marshawn Lynch some love.
Number 2. Who's number 1?
Number 1 all-time amazing run. Marcus Allen goes the distance. Super Bowl 18.
Why is that number 1? Tell me what's remarkable about that run. I like it a lot. The biggest game and the biggest moment.
26-yard line. Plunkett giving to Allen, sending him wide left. He has to reverse his field, but he gets away for a moment. Comes back up to the 30, 25, 40. Goes past 2 men at the 50. Down to the 40. Picking up a blocker. Holy Toledo! It's all over.
Marcus Allen, a new Super Bowl record.
How does it get better than that?
No, look at it again.
This is a great running back. Watch it. He says, oh, I can't go there. Now I see a cutback.
What's number 1? Marcus Allen in the Super Bowl? Okay. Who did he shove to the ground on that play? Anyone remember? No?
No, he didn't even break. No.
Allen may not have broken many tackles, but he did break a record for what was then the longest touchdown run in Super Bowl history.
He just burst right by those Redskins. That is a heck of a run.
Whether you agree with our number 1 amazing run or not,
I have major issues with this. This is an egregious error on your part.
you have to respect Allen's record-setting Super Bowl performance against Washington's number 1 ranked defense.
It's a great run. Came at a great moment in the game, and to go 74 yards against that Redskins defense, and to get back up in the middle of the offensive line and run through the middle.
What a day he's had.
I'll tell you, I have never seen anyone run against the Redskins like this. You just run by him and around him in every way you can.
Your most valuable player in Super Bowl 18. Couldn't really vote for anybody else unless you could vote for the whole Raider defense.
I have already had a call from Moscow. They think that Marcus Allen is a new secret weapon, and they insist that we dismantle it.
Here's what I like about that run. Now, hopefully you guys can do this after I mention it. You slow it down, and you put some kind of like orchestra symphony music to it. Because that run is beautiful. And there's not a lot of things in football that you can use the term beautiful, but if you slow that down, that is it's art.
With Marcus, he felt longer, he looked taller, his pads looked smaller. I think why I admired him so much is because it felt poetic.
Marcus was the great glider. He was always gliding, it was easy. He'd put his foot in the ground and glide, and then he'd explode like that play. He was gliding, came back the other way, boom, right up the middle, gone.
You don't teach that kind of running.
That's absolutely a legendary run.
Adding to the legacy of Marcus Allen's run is the iconic imagery that has been etched in the memories of generations of football fans.
Everyone has seen it a million times on NFL films. We've grown up with that image in our heads of what football is.
You get the full effect, the visual, the musical, makes me appreciate the game more than ever.
Okay, sometimes I take issue with you guys on what you pick, but Marcus Allen being number one, you got this right.
I mean, everyone knows what Marshawn did, but, you know, Marcus Allen's run, that's the best run.